Yep, we're all set. We're rolling.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Slavoj Zizek, for meeting with us and for having this brief interview. Thank you for your time and for an amazingly thought-provoking talk. So this is going to be a biographical interview, so it's going to be a little bit more about your childhood and how you perceive life and all the exciting things in between. So if we could start, what is your earliest memory? What was your earliest memory as a child that you can recall? That was probably the most influential memory.
First, I try to erase as much as possible of my past. Vaguely, my first memory is 53, when I was 3, 4. There was so much snow in Ljubljana, all the traffic stopped and so on. Wow. And I remember, exiting the house on a big main street, and there was like 4 or 5 yards of snow and small tunnels in between, like you had to walk as if in some mystical space full of snow, just tunnels in the middle of the city. That's my single earlier memory.
That's great. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And who was the most influential person to you as a child?
That's a good idea, because I didn't like my parents. I didn't have any friends whom I really liked. What do you mean by child? Specify the era.
Probably 8 to 12.
My God. No one. And I think it's not that I'm repressing something, in the sense of there was a traumatic guy, but I don't want to know about
Yes,
it. No.
yeah.
It's simply, I don't know. It's something so weird with my past, but I hate my life till the university.
Really?
I tried to erase it totally. I hated the elementary school. The only thing I liked is in the high school, they opened in Ljubljana, the city where I lived, Cinematheque, because these are pre-digital times, of course, where they showed just old movies, and this was a paradise for me, my favorite place.
Wow.
Because practically every day I went to a movie theater, to cinema, showing all the old classics and so on and so on. That's the only pleasant memory almost that I have of that time.
So why is it that, for example, you say that you're not repressing it, so why is it that you're trying to forget it?
Because I don't like the memory of myself from that time, the way I remember it. I was kind of a shy guy and wanted to avoid company and so on. Maybe there is something traumatic, I don't know. But I didn't have in any sense, traumatic memories. It's just that when I discovered first cinema as art, then opera, then theory, all other things simply become irrelevant for me.
So is that why cinema was such a pivotal aspect of your...
Yeah, this was my, if I may use this disgusting term, spiritual freedom when I was young, no?
Yeah.
And I started already in elementary school to read film theory. There were things even translated in my language, Eisenstein, André Bazin, all that classical stuff from the 50s, 60s, no?
Yeah, so that had a massive influence on you as well as your work.
Before becoming interested in philosophy, I began with cinema theory. I even had dreams of maybe directing a movie, but then simply by getting to see all the classics, I simply thought I'm too stupid, I cannot do it, so I resigned. But now I still have dreams not to do a movie, but to stage a Wagner opera. That's my secret dream.
Really? So what is it about Wagner that really inspires you?
It's so. First, I hated always this Mediterranean mythology, Greek, Latin. I always preferred the much darker Nordic mythology, the ancient German myth, Iceland sagas, Finland, Kalevala, and so on. And I like that world which ends up in a catastrophe, with total destruction of everything. From my elementary school, I was fascinated by Nordic mythology.
Wow.
And this brought me to Wagner. But then I'm a Wagnerian from when I was 10, 11 years.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you know?
I just discovered it by through popular culture, I was reading about Knights of the Round Table, blah blah.
Yes, yeah.
But then I fell into it, and I am like that.
That's it.
Yeah. And now I have the same taste. The shocking thing is how little I've changed. Like
Really?
Wagner was there, Hitchcock was there, all this was already there. I always had this, I talked about this today, this feeling of predestination.
Yes,
I
yeah.
remember
Freedom.
at the last year of my high school, this French thought exploded. So-called, at that point, structuralism, Lacan, Foucault, Althusser.
Yes.
And I remember it was very mystical almost. I was reading that stuff and immediately I knew, Lacan, that's it. That will be my fate. And I'm there still. So in a way, life was for me easy. In this basic sense that I never had to choose, oscillate, should I this, should I do that. I always knew exactly what I will do. And my luck was that I was able to do it.
Wow. So would you say that you were predestined then?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, it definitely looks like that. But already Gilles Deleuze has this nice formula. He said, if you want really to choose, you first have to be chosen.
That's
I
nice,
was chosen.
yeah.
And I was extremely lucky. In a weird way, even political oppression worked for me. Because in early 70s, when I finished my postgraduate studies, my dream was to become a professor, first assistant professor, blah blah, Department of Philosophy, but early 70s were the last Indian summer of hardline Stalinists.
Yes.
So I didn't get the job, a couple of years I was unemployed, and then I got the job at which I am now even, you know.
Wow.
I mean, researcher, pure researcher.
That's good.
I hate, okay, talks are okay, but I hate giving classes. Because then all the baggage you get by it, which means office hours, grading the papers. I never did that. I'm proud to say I did teach a couple of semesters here, and all the grading was pure bluff. And I even openly told this to students. I told them, I remember at New School, for example, in New York, if you don't give me any of your shitty papers, you get an A. If you give me a paper, I may read it and not like it, and you can get a lower grade, you know. And it worked. I got no papers. Office hours are a problem. This is the main reason I don't want to teach.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because office hours, you know, students, they're like other people. The majority are boring idiots. So I cannot imagine a worse experience than some idiot comes there and starts to ask you questions, which is still tolerable. The problem is that here in the United States, students tend to be so open that sooner or later, if you are kind to them, they even start to ask you personal questions like private problems, could you help them, and so on. What should I tell them? I don't care, kill yourself, it's not my problem, you know. I
give them the knife and say,
yeah. So I like universities without students.
That's nice, actually.
Yeah. Okay, they are called research institutes, which I like. I mean, you know, that you just do what you want. I mean, if you're a lazy person, of course, you do nothing. But I'm a workaholic, and as such, I was, in a way, very lucky also. After those couple of years, after finishing my studies of unemployment, all the time I was at a research job. I had a research job, and it was perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was like heaven.
Yeah.
So where did you get your work ethic from?
That's a good point. Maybe because I was a lone, frustrated kid, and I was all the time from, I don't know, when I was 8, 9, escaping.
Actually, you've just mentioned Christianity. So Christianity seems to play a large part in developing your work. Did you ever, in your lifetime, consider a religious conversion?
No. This is why I deal with Christianity. I think Christianity is the only true religion of atheism. The lesson of Christianity for me is God is dead.
Yes.
God is really dead. You know, I follow here Hegel, who says that what dies on the cross, it's not a representative of God. It's not God is up there, okay, I send you my son, sorry guys, it didn't work. son, come back next time. No, what died on the cross is the God of beyond itself. It means what? Because this is why what happens after the death of Christ is Holy Spirit,
Yes.
which is the community of believers.
That's a great interpretation.
Yeah, no, it's very simple one. I'm not even very original here, but nonetheless, I think again that's why, in my provocative way, I say that to be truly an atheist, you have to go through Christianity, because only in Christianity the big other really falls. That's the traumatic event.
Yes.
In Christianity, because people otherwise who pretend to be atheists, no, unconsciously they are still believers. This is what Lacan said. You know, the late Lacan provided a wonderful formula where he said the formula of atheism, true one, is not God is dead, but God is unconscious.
Yes.
Which means you may think you don't believe, but de facto in your acts and so on, you do believe.
Rituals.
Yeah, rituals you believe.
Wow, okay, great. Just one more question.
Yeah.
How do you think people will remember you? What legacy do you want to leave behind?
That's the problem. Maybe I'm too much engaged in all these stupid jokes and so on, you know. This is why I want to be remembered as a Hegel scholar who proposed a new, to put it in very traditional terms, metaphysic ontological vision. All other things don't matter. I don't care, ultimately, this is horrible to say, but I don't care about, I'm ready to betray all the leftist bullshit of revolution and so on for one good reading of Hegel. I'm absolutely in that. I think one has to rehabilitate this pure, meaningless, in the sense of no use theory. I think we miss that. Today, what was once the way of speaking of the left, like no theory should not be in ivory tower where we have to fight with real people.
Yeah,
This is how the right and humanitarians are saying today, you know. How can you do your theory when people are starving in Africa? Well, ultimately, fuck the starving people in Africa. Theory matters more. Only this attitude can save in the long term even the starving people in Africa.
So you basically we need to be more critical in our thinking before we go out and try to save the world. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but no, it's not the point only critical. Also, we have the right to fully, why not use this word, enjoy theory. Theory is an end in itself.
That's good.
And I'm not ashamed of it. I hate this pseudo-liberal leftist attitude of, you know, if you do pure theory, you must feel guilt, you know. Oh my God, there are poor people there and I'm just reading Hegel or whatever, you know. No, the world was created, you know what Hegel says, I love it. This is the best idealist Hegel, when he says that in a deeper sense, Peloponnesian War was fought so that Thucydides could write a book on it, you know. And I claim that's like it, and it's true, like, there was Elizabethan kingdom in England, so that the true spiritual result is that Shakespeare was able to write his pieces. No? That's the only thing. I'm even tempted to go here to the end and joke, like, what if the city of San Francisco was constructed so that Hitchcock was able to shoot Vertigo there? And in this sense, I claim, maybe, we exist so that we can read Hegel or whatever. I certainly exist
I like it.
for that reason. No.
Thank you, Slavoj.